Hello again, and welcome back to the potting shed. Today I want to talk to you about temperature and humidity for your houseplants. This is something you really need to keep an eye on, because if you get it out of the general range, it can have quite a detrimental effect, especially on certain types of houseplants like Calathea or Calathea. They really are very sensitive to the humidity in the air, and if you live in Europe, the UK like I do, we have central heating on in the winter, then this can really dry out the air and the atmosphere around your plants, and you'll often see lots of dried ends and tips of the leaves, even massive great brown spots and whole leaves crisping up and going brown. So if you want to know more about how to avoid this, what you can do about it, and how best to track it, then stay tuned. All right, let's get started. Today's video is kindly sponsored by Inkbird, who make this pretty decent temperature and humidity sensor, which is going to feature in today's episode. And as you might have guessed, it's got a pretty spiffy e-ink display. How about that? And it also changes in a flick of a button from Celsius to Fahrenheit, which is pretty good. So these things are what I would suggest everyone should have in their homes if you are serious about keeping house plants, because not only are they stylish, they look good, and if you've ever seen any of my other videos, the ones you can often get, shall we say, are a little bit flimsy. And what I normally see is the humidity raises up by 2, maybe 3. It's cheap. They're cheaply made and cheaply sold, and sometimes I think I just don't want something cheap. I want something that works and is good quality. It doesn't always have to be the cheapest possible thing, because they'll let you down, they'll break, and they don't last very long. And I'd much rather spend a bit more money and have it dependable and reliable. And what I like about this one from Inkbird is it's actually got a sensor in it from a very reputable manufacturer. It's a Swiss-based manufacturer. Let me check my notes. Sensorion is the name of the manufacturer, and they are very well known and highly regarded in the industry for precise and efficient sensors. So this isn't some cheap knocked up thing. It is a quality piece of kit, as you can see, because it looks really nice. And this e-ink screen is just crazy. It looks like there's just a picture on there of like you might get before you turn it on. That's the display. Now my lights in the potting shed here might be a little bit overwhelming. There isn't really a much of a shine on the screen. It's just these very powerful lights that I've got on here. But in a normal home environment, you can literally, I can read that perfectly from pretty much 180 degrees. It's that easy to read. It's a fully rechargeable unit as well. There's a little micro USB socket here on the side. There's got a little rubber grommet that you can pull out. Stick your USB cable into anything like a power bank or your computer. This will charge it up, but I'm pretty sure this battery will last a long time. I've had this for a few weeks now, and it's barely moved in the battery sense. I think it will last a long time in between charges. You've got a back mounting plate here, so you can put it on the wall if you want to. You can mount it wherever you like, or you can just have it sat on your desk somewhere. And the thing that really encouraged me to want to review this in this video is because it has the old smart technology. It's Wi-Fi enabled. As you can see, it's got the time and the date here, which is all synced up, so you don't need to adjust it. It's always going to be right in your time zone. Even gives you a basic weather prediction there in your area, because it's linked up to your phone. And it also has something to do with I don't know, it's like the safety reading in your area. So there's a moderate risk of like influenza and health. I think it's not really relevant to what we're doing in the houseplant sort of community, so I think that's kind of pointless, but it's there, so fair enough. Then you've obviously got the very clear temperature and humidity. And what makes this really impressive is once you set it up with your phone, you have to download the Inkbird app. And yeah, it takes probably 5 or 10 minutes to set it up on your phone, which, you know, is a bit of a faff, but you only have to do it once. So I think that's a reasonable amount of time invested. And once you have it on your phone, you can click onto the device and it will tell you the temperature and the humidity. I don't know if it's going to show you my phone screen. It very well might not do, but you can take my word for it. I'll see if I can get a screen grab on the screen for you there. But it gives you a very clear readout of the temperature and humidity, and across a time you can look back and see the trending, whether it's trending up or down. And the real kicker for this is you can set alerts. So what you can actually do, you can go into the settings, which is just one click, and then click on alarm setting, and then you can select a range of, say, between 104 and 50 degrees. So it will alert you if it gets too hot in the environment. It will alert you if it gets too cold in an environment. And the same with the humidity, which I've not seen a sensor that does that. It is really, really useful. For example, I keep a lot of my houseplants. They overwinter in my back porch. They're outside, a lot of them in the summer, and some of them are in different places around the house. But in the winter, they all kind of overwinter in there. It's a lot cooler. There is a small radiator on just to keep it from getting too cold. But that's obviously only in the evening and early morning when I'm moving around the house. So what I want to be sure that the humidity is right in there for the house plants, but also it doesn't get too cold over the winter. So I can set this to something like, I don't know, 10 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I'll stick it up here. So if we get a particularly cold night and the temperatures really plummet, this app is going to alert me that it's getting too cold in the back porch, and I can do something about it. I can open the door to the main house and let some of the heat from the main house just fill up into the back porch. It's not a particularly big room, so it wouldn't take many minutes to raise the temperature up. It's insulated, so it would do that reasonably well and keep that heat. Or I could even put in a small frost heater that I have stored away that I could just plug in, and that has a thermostat on it and will bring it back up, and we'll keep an eye on it. So these things are actually really useful. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to go and check this out. They're available on Amazon, and there's a pretty hefty discount at the moment, which actually makes them very, very good value, especially with all the smart features. So if you want a temperature and humidity sensor for your house plants, or just for your house, why can't I speak? For your home or your house in general, then this is definitely a good one to go for. It's clearly a better quality than the other ones that I own, and I think it's going to be a useful asset in looking after my houseplants. All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Go check out the Inkbird thermometer guide, and thank you, Inkbird, for sponsoring this video. I appreciate it. It is a good sensor. I wouldn't say it was if I didn't think so. I'd be quite happy to tell you if this was rubbish, but it isn't. It's a very nice sensor, and let's be honest, if Inkbird are prepared to send it to me and ask me to review it, then they've got an idea that it's a good unit, and it really is. And for me, like I said, I do appreciate something of better quality, but I'd much rather spend a little bit more and just have it last longer than constantly buying cheap things that break, and I have to constantly replace. It's frustrating, and it's not as good for the environment. You know, keeping something longer is a much better environmentally sustainable option. So yes, if you're looking for a device like this, go check out the link in the description and the top comment as well, because currently they do have a very decent sale going on in the US. Certainly I know that's the case, and I'll see if I can get you a link also for the UK and Europe. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about humidity and temperature, let me know down in the comments. I'm always happy to help, and we can continue this conversation down there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the very next video. Bye for now.